Hello and welcome back to the Back Nine Report. My name is Carlos Torres, and with me always is my co-host and expert, the CGO, the Chief Golfaholic Officer, Fred Alvader. Fred, the dust is finally settling after the Ryder Cup, and now we can shift our focus to this crucial late season pushes happening across the rest of the golf world. The stakes couldn't be higher. I mean, we're talking about cards, tour cards, season long titles, and job security for 2026. Fred, hi, how are you today?
Great, Carlos. Yeah, we haven't been talking about much of the other tours. We've been focused on the PGA Tour, a little bit about the LIV, and we've talked about the FedEx Cup and the majors. And I thought it'd be good if we talked about a little bit of what's going on because now we're down at the end of the season. We've got the Corn Ferry Tour, the DP World Tour, the PGA Champions, the LPGA, the Epson. All these guys, they got stuff going on to keep their cards or to make it to the big tours. There's a lot of stuff going on, Carlos. I thought maybe it'd be good to talk about it a little bit.
Well, Fred, let's start with the Corn Ferry Tour, where the competition is really fierce. I mean, this week we're witnessing where dreams are either realized or deferred. The Corn Ferry Tour is wrapping up its season with the Corn Ferry Tour Championship at the Pete Dye course at French Lick Resort in Southern Indiana, which you are very familiar with. The purse is a healthy $1.5 million. But the real prize is those coveted 20 PGA Tour cards for the 2026 season. Let me tell you, this is a significant change down from the 25 cards in the past, which makes that top 20 cutoff line incredibly intense now. I mean, we know a few players are already locked in and playing for a better spot on the PGA Tour priority list next year. That list would include Johnny Kiefer, Austin Smotherman, and the Ohio State alum Neil Chipley. Huh? I know you like that. Who really impressed everyone with his major championship play in 2024. But for the rest of the field, especially those hovering at around the 20 to 30 mark, every single shot on that challenging pit die track is going to feel like a major championship putt. So, Fred, I mean, you've seen this side of professional golf for years. What the tour card is on the line, how does the pressure in this final event compare to, say, a major championship or for one of the established guys? So, what's your take on this?
You're exactly right, Carlos. This is a major for these guys. Those guys are right now that let's say they're at 50 to 20. Okay. They've got a chance. If they could win the event or finish maybe top five, they could jump. Just this week, we saw Dumont de Chatzert, who won by 7 strokes last week, catapulted him from number 26 to number 6, up 20 spots. Okay. So a win can move you up big time in the Corn Ferry Tour standings and get you into that top 20. Um, I found this interesting. I was looking back today, and so Chassart previously finished number 11 on the 23 Corn Ferry points list and had a PJ Tour membership back then. And then he joined the Corn Ferry Tour originally via the PJ Tour University performance benefits. So he qualified for Corn Ferry Tour right out of University of Illinois. And like you say, my guy Neil Shipley played so well in the low am in the Masters and the U.S. Open in 2024. Had a played a few events on the PJ Tour, earned some money, just didn't earn quite enough to earn membership. Played a full season this year on the Corn Ferry Tour, and you can see he's done quite well. Matter of fact, he had his membership wrapped up. I don't know, about 3 weeks ago. Actually, I saw an interview with him. And Carlos, you mentioned like the top five, but really updated after this week's tournament, the top 11 on the Corn Ferry Tour are already in. They've already earned their cards. They're good. They can't be eliminated. And so that includes Hank Laboda, Adrian Dumont, the Chasser, the guy just won, Chandler Blanchette, S.H. Kim, Zach Bachow, and Davis Chatfield, and number 11, Christo Lamprecht, who we've seen on the PGA Tour before as well. What surprised me looking at the list of these top Corn Ferry Tours, there's no big PGA Tour names, no real veterans that are trying to get their card. These are all Corn Ferry guys, younger guys kind of looking for their shot. A couple of them have had a cup of coffee on the tour and are trying to get back, Carlos. But this, believe it, you're exactly right. This is like a major for them. This is a big week. A lot of nerves, a lot of pressure for some of these guys.
A lot of pressure, and we'll see who comes out on that top 20. But now moving over to the LPGA, wow, they're having a record-breaking year for competitive parity. The win by Yuming Wang at the Lottie Championship in Hawaii last week was monumental. I mean, her victory made her the 26th, listen to this, 26th different winner on the LPGA Tour this year, officially tying the all-time record for unique winners in a single season. We still have more tournaments to go. So, I mean, the talent pool is just unbelievably deep right now. What's really fascinating is Wang's choice. She was offered, hey, here, immediate LPGA Tour membership, but she offered to defer it. She opted to defer it to the start of the 2026 season. You know, this is a very calculated long-term career move by a 22-year-old. Now, for the rest of the year, the tour is heading overseas for its all-important Asian swing with tournaments in Shanghai, South Korea, Malaysia, and Japan. Before returning for the final two US events, which will be the Annika and the season-ending CME Globe Championship. So the race to the CME Globe standings are tight as they head east. We have 4 Japanese players in the top 10, including Miyu Yamashita and Aki Iwai. And surprisingly, only one Korean player. How the turn of events, right? Is Hyu Kim in the mix. And of course, Nelly Korda, incredibly, she's still chasing her first win of the year at number 6. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year that she would have been looking for her first win of the year, I would have said, and she's ranked number 6, I would have said, no, it's the other way. She's ranked number 1 and she has 6 wins. But Fred, on the developmental side, 25 young women just earned LPGA cards from the Epson Tour, but only the top 10 are fully exempt. So how crucial is it for these new members to maximize that status during the early part of their rookie year?
Yeah, and it's really tough because now you've got these young girls from the Epson Tour coming on the LPGA. They don't know the courses. You know, their confidence can be shaken. Now they're in with the big girls now, right? They're not just playing against other kids they played with in college. Well, they maybe are, but these ladies are already on the LPGA Tour. They've already been there. They've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and so it's a learning curve. We see it on the PGA Tour all the time that the guys that come off the Korn Ferry Tour onto the big tour on the PGA Tour, you know, only about 10 or 15% of them stick because they just can't stand the pressure. They don't know the courses. Their game's just not ready. Their confidence level isn't good enough. You know, some of these guys just aren't ready to move up yet. Same way with the LPGA and the Epson Tour. The Epson Tour has had a fantastic year. They've had some really good performances out there. They play some really good golf courses. I've gotten to know a couple of the ladies this year. I've been around a little bit on some Epson Tour stuff, and they're really good players, Carlos. They're really, really, really good. I can't tell you the magic formula, what makes you stay or what makes you compete on the LPGA Tour rather than just the Epson Tour. I think a lot of it is just confidence. Being able to step up on that tee box and know you're going to fire a 270 or 265-yard drive down there, someplace where you can find it and hit it again, and then roll the putts. You know, I mean, you know yourself when you're playing, and we're just playing for a couple bucks, right? Maybe with our friends, and you get that 3 or 4 footer or 5 footer to make a birdie or even make a par to tie your buddy or to win $5 off of him. It gets tight. You know, your mind gets to playing games with you, and it becomes very difficult to make a putt then. And these guys do it all the time. They're playing for their dinner, right? They're playing pay the mortgage, pay their airfare, pay their costs, all that stuff. They got all that riding on their shoulders, and so it's a lot of pressure, Carlos. And there's going to be you know, there's a bunch of ladies that move up this year, and it's great, but it's going to be a tough road for them, even when they make it to the LPGA, Carlos.
It will be, but the PGA Tour, I mean, anyone can win. You've seen it, just 26 different players is amazing, that parity that they have. So we'll see. They still have a long way to go. So I'm sure that 26, that record will be broken. But hey, you know what? The stories are just as good on the PGA Tour champion. So congratulations to Tommy Gainey, who just earned a spot on the 2026 Champions Tour by winning the Friends of Jim Furyk event last year. A huge, huge win for him. The big story for the senior circuit right now is the run up to the Charles Schwab Cup Championship, which will be in November. Only three events remain before the season finale. In the Charles Schwab Cup standings, the race is still being led by golf's most interesting man, Miguel Angel Jimenez, who's having, oh my goodness, an incredible season. Right behind him are Stuart Sink, Stephen Alker, Ernie Els, and Patty Harrington. With that three of major champions, chasing MAJ, this is going to be a fantastic finish. Fred, in these final three events, do the veterans like Els and Harrington, who have experience with season-long points races, have an edge over a hot hand player in a sprint to the finish, or how do you see this finish? To me, it's going to be exciting to see.
I think the guy with the best shot is Stuart Sink. He's been playing very consistent all year. And Stuart Sink's always been a consistent player, right? Even on his days on the PGA Tour, he was always right there. He kept his card every year, just, won several events, was very close to winning a major. He's a really good player. But Miguel Angel Jimenez, I mean, he's been around the block. He's no spring chicken. He's been here before. And so, it just depends. But then like you say, you got Ernie Els and Patty Harrington right there. And Patty, he might be more of a golfaholic than I am. I mean, he just loves to play. He loves the game, loves to be out there competing, right? I wouldn't put it past Ernie and Patty to catch MAJ. But I think Stuart Sink's really the only guy that has a chance to catch him, Carlos, myself.
Definitely, I have to agree with you. He's been so consistent, but I wouldn't pass the past MHA. I mean, he's been having an incredible year. It would be just tough to see him lose this race lead for the final season, but we'll see. I think it's just going to be interesting to see all those major champions following to try to get to MAJ and win their first PGA Tour Champions title. Now, finally, back to the PGA Tour, where the fall series is just heating up. We have 5 events remaining before the 2025 season, well, let's say year, right, officially concludes. Starting this week in Japan for the Bay Current Classic. The rest of the schedule will take us to the Bank of Utah Championship, the Worldwide Technology Championship, the Butterfield Bermuda Championship, and the RSM Classic. And for dozens of players, these 5 weeks are all about two things. One, job security, and a better starting position for 2026, which is a lot to do because in this first tournaments of the season, we don't see a lot of the stars. So this is like their time to try to position themselves. I mean, remember, finishing in the top 125 of the FedEx Cup fall points list is non-negotiable for status. We've already seen a breakthrough win with Stephen Fisk's first win 2 weeks ago. We can expect more of those career-changing moments over the next 5 weeks for sure. Fred, from a business standpoint, how critical is securing that full status in the fall series rather than having to rely on conditional status or limited schedule the next year?
Yeah, just like we were talking about with the Corn Ferry Tour, these tournaments in the fall series have become a way for the lesser known players to earn some FedEx Cup points and some money. Okay. When January 1 rolls around and the tour starts out, we know now that the tournament schedule now for the PGA Tour has got crammed from January 1 until the end of August, until Labor Day. And so you've got 4 majors in there, you've got the players in there, you've got big events, the signature events in there, and then you've got the playoff events. So that doesn't leave a lot of chance because now you've got all the big guys playing, the Rory McIlroys and the Scotty Schefflers of the world, and they're pretty competitive. They're tough to beat. So you've got these other guys that are just trying to make cuts and make a few bucks in these events. But in the fall, the fields are small. The fields are the same, but they're not as competitive as after the first year. So some of these lesser names can make a name for themselves, make some money, get some FedEx Cup points heading into next year. And remember, we're only taking the top 100 this year. Keep their cards for next year, Carlos.
It is very important. And before we move on to some final thoughts, I know you want to add some information about the recently released players list for the Hero Championship, and also some comments on the DP World.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the DP World Tour. Just wanted to mention it briefly. They're closing out their season as well. They run a little bit longer because they don't try to compete so much with the PGA Tour. And some of these big guys like Rory can come back. Tommy Fleetwood can go play in some of their events here in the fall. So Bobby McIntyre, excuse me, Bobby McIntyre just won the Alfred Dunhill last week, hot off the heels of his great performance in the Ryder Cup. The Spanish Open in Madrid is this week, followed by India Championship, Genesis Championship in South Korea, Abu Dhabi, and the DP World Championship November 13th through 16th. So the top 10 on the DP World's point list right now are Rory at number 1, of course, Tyrrell Hatton, Marco Penge, Christopher Rattan, Adrian Satier, Bob McIntyre, Alex Noren, John Perry, Watong Lee, and Jordan Smith. It's a little bit unusual. There's 5 Englishmen in the top 10 right now in the DP World Tour. You got Rory, Hatton, Penge, Perry, and Smith. That's unusual. That's a lot of talent coming out of England for the DP World Tour right now. So, yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't say. I said Rory. That's not really. He's Irish. I'm sorry. But anyhow, the DP World Tour is it's Justin. Yeah. Anyhow, the DP World Tour is wrapping up as well, Carlos. And then the field was released today for the PGA for the Hero World Challenge, and there's no word whether or not Tiger's going to try and tee it up. But here there are still 3 sponsors exemptions remaining. Of course, we've got Scotty, Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas, JJ Spawn, McIntyre, Harris English, Keegan Bradley, Justin Rose, Sepp Straka, Hideki, Cameron Young, Cantley, Sam Burns, Corey Connors, Chris Goddard, Wyndham Clark, Brian Harman, and then the 3 exemptions yet are waiting. So if Tiger wanted to play, he could grab one of those. I don't know that we'll see him. He's had surgery not too long ago again. So I don't know if he's going to try and tee it up. I don't know if he's going to try and play in the father child thing with Charlie again this year, or not Charlie, but his son again this year. So we'll see. But yeah, Carlos, we're wrapping up the season. Things are coming to an end. A lot of big money out there yet to get. A lot of big stuff for guys to compete for, Carlos.
Well, Fred, to me, it's clear the golf season is far from over, as we have just told everybody. And the drama is at an all-time high because the Korn Ferry Tour, well, has its high-stakes finale. 20 men are fighting for PGA Tour car. The LPGA Tour is on a record-setting run of unique winners as they embark on their crucial Asian swing. The PGA Tour Champions is heading towards its grand finale. Miguel Angel Jimenez battling a field of major champions for the Schwab Cup. And finally, the PGA Tour Fall Series is a last-ditch effort for players to earn money and job security for 2026. And like I mentioned, the DP World Tour is just getting high on that end. So any final thoughts before we close?
No, it's been kind of a funny golf year. The LIV thing and the PGA Tour thing, it's kind of getting settled out now. I think we're getting. I read something where the Live lost $472 million this year. I don't know how much longer they can keep doing that. They just made an agreement with the DP World Tour that their players can move back and forth and play in the DP World Tour events when there's no Live Tour events. So that'll help give the guys some ranking points. I still don't see the LIV making it onto their current format unless they decide to change some stuff. So, but yeah, the fall's here. A lot of stuff yet to play for, Carlos. So it's going to be interesting yet. You don't want to turn your TVs off just yet.
Yeah, I give the LIV just one more year to go, and especially because I think Bryson is just going to leave, and after he lives, there's no live for LIV. So, anyway, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Back Nine Report. For us, thanks as always for your great expert insight. If you enjoy the show, fans, please do us a huge favor, like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our breakdowns on the biggest stories of golf. So we'll talk to you next time on the Back Nine Report. Thank you for joining.